Margaret kept a budget for 41 years. She used a spreadsheet. She tracked every category. She reviewed it every Sunday. She did everything the financial books told her to do. She retired at 67 with enough money to be comfortable, but not enough to be free. She looked back at her working years and could not point to a single month where she felt like her money was actually working for her. She knew where the money went. She just never understood why it kept going there. Her daughter, Diane, retired at 46. Same income, same city, same cost of living, different method. Diane did not use a spreadsheet. She did not use an app. She used a notebook and a method that has been used in Japan since 1904. And the difference it made in her financial life was not a matter of discipline. It was a matter of awareness. The Japanese understood something about spending that most American financial advice completely misses. And when you understand it, the gap between where you are and where you want to be closes faster than any budget spreadsheet ever made possible. Today, I am going to walk you through the Kakeibo method, what it is, where it came from, why it works when everything else does not, and exactly how to implement it starting this week in a way that can genuinely move your retirement date forward by years, sometimes by decades. This is not a motivational video. This is a system. And systems produce results that willpower never does. The first thing you need to understand is what Kakeibo actually is and why it is different from every budgeting method you have already tried. Kakeibo is a Japanese word. It translates roughly to household financial ledger. It was introduced in Japan in 1904 by a woman named Hani Motoko, who was the first female journalist in Japan. She designed it specifically for housewives who were managing family finances without any formal financial education. The method was built around one core insight that modern financial technology has spent a century trying to eliminate, and in doing so has made people worse with money, not better. The insight is this: the physical act of writing down a financial decision changes your relationship to that decision. Not because writing is magical, because writing forces a pause, and the pause is where financial behavior actually changes. Every budgeting app you have ever downloaded works against this principle. The app tracks automatically. The app categorizes for you. The app sends you a notification after you have already spent. The damage is done. The app confirms it. You feel briefly guilty. You do nothing different. This is the cycle that kept Margaret budgeting for 41 years without becoming free. Kakeibo removes the automation and replaces it with intention. Before you spend, you write, not after, before. Here is exactly how the method works in practice. At the beginning of each month, you open your notebook, you write down your total expected income for the month, you write down your total fixed expenses, rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance, loan payments, everything that arrives automatically and cannot be negotiated in the short term. You subtract the fixed expenses from the income. The number you are left with is your discretionary income. That is the number Kakeibo is designed to manage. Then you answer 4 questions. These are the 4 questions at the core of the entire method. How much money do I have available? How much do I want to save? How much am I spending? How can I improve? These 4 questions look simple. They are not. Most people who have budgeted for years cannot answer all 4 accurately. They can tell you how much comes in. They cannot tell you how much they intended to save before the month started. They can tell you how much they spent in total. They cannot tell you why they spent it. And they almost never ask the 4th question with any honesty. Kakeibo divides all spending into 4 categories. The Japanese names are less important than the concepts. The 4 categories are survival, optional, culture, and extra. Survival spending is everything you need to live: food, transportation, housing, medicine. This category should be as small as you can make it without damaging your health or your ability to earn income. Optional spending is everything you want but do not need. Restaurants, entertainment, clothing beyond what you already own, coffee outside the home. This is the category where most American households have a significant and largely invisible problem. Culture spending covers education, books, events, experiences that improve you or connect you to something larger than daily routine. Kakeibo treats this category with respect. It does not tell you to eliminate it. It asks you to do it intentionally. Extra spending is irregular: car repairs, medical bills, birthday gifts, annual fees. This is the category that destroys most budgets because it is the category most people pretend does not exist until it appears. At the end of each week, not each month, each week you sit down with your notebook and you record what you spent in each category. Handwritten, not typed, not logged automatically, written. You total the week. You compare it to your intention at the start of the month. You answer the 4th question honestly. How can I improve? At the end of each month, you answer the same 4 questions again. You carry the insight into the next month's opening page. The notebook becomes a record of financial self-knowledge that no app can replicate because no app makes you confront yourself in the same way. The second thing you need to understand is why the Kakeibo method specifically accelerates retirement, and the mechanism is more precise than most people realize. The gap between your current savings rate and an early retirement savings rate is almost never as large as it feels. Research on households that achieve financial independence before 60 consistently shows that the difference was not income. It was discretionary spending awareness. The average American household earning between $75,000 and $120,000 a year is leaking between $800 and $1,400 per month in optional and extra category spending that they cannot account for when asked. Let me put a real number on that for you. Thomas is 42. He earns $95,000 a year. He has been contributing 10% to his 401k for 12 years. He has approximately $180,000 saved. At his current savings rate, assuming a 7% average annual return, he will have roughly $1.1 million at age 67. A comfortable retirement, not an early one. Thomas starts using Kakeibo in January. The act of writing down his optional and extra spending before it happens reveals something he did not know about himself. He is spending $340 per month on food delivery. He is spending $210 per month on subscription services he has not used in over 60 days. He is spending $180 per month on impulse purchases, the kind that arrive in a box 2 days after a late-night browse. That is $730 per month, $8,760 per year. That money has been invisible to Thomas because no one made him write it down in advance. Thomas does not eliminate all of it. He keeps $200 a month in optional spending because quality of life matters and Kakeibo is not a punishment system. He redirects the remaining $530 per month into his retirement accounts. At a 7% average annual return, an additional $530 per month invested, starting at age 42, moves Thomas's retirement date from 67 to approximately 58, 9 years earlier. That is 9 additional years of freedom bought with money Thomas was already earning and already losing without noticing. If his awareness shifts further in year 2, as it typically does for consistent Kakeibo practitioners, and he redirects another $300 per month, his retirement date moves again, closer to 54. The math is not complicated. The behavior is. And the behavior is what Kakeibo addresses at its root. The third thing you need to understand is the savings question, because it is the part of Kakeibo that most American summaries of the method get wrong. In the Kakeibo method, you decide how much you will save before the month begins, not after, not whatever is left, before. This is the direct inversion of how most Americans approach saving. Most Americans spend first and save whatever remains. The financial industry calls this paying yourself last. It is the primary reason the average American near retirement age has saved far less than they will need. Kakeibo operates on the principle of paying yourself first and then designing your spending around what is left. This sounds identical to advice you have heard before. It is not. The difference is the mechanism. When you write your savings target at the top of your monthly Kakeibo page, before you write a single expense, you are making a commitment to a specific version of your future self. The act of writing it is not symbolic. It is structural. It reshapes how you perceive the money available for spending for the entire month. You do not have $5,000 to spend this month. You have $5,000 minus your savings commitment to spend. The remaining number is your real budget. The savings number is already gone in your mind before it can be spent. Behavioral economists at multiple universities have studied the gap between stated savings intentions and actual savings behavior. The single most reliable predictor of whether stated intentions become actual savings is whether the commitment was made before the spending opportunity arose. Kakeibo institutionalizes this timing at the monthly level. The specific savings rate target that Kakeibo practitioners who achieve early retirement most commonly report is between 30 and 40% of net income. That number sounds aggressive. For someone currently saving 10%, it represents a significant shift, but the shift does not happen in a single month. Kakeibo is designed for incremental progress. In month 1, you might move from 10% to 14%, in month 3 to 19%, in month 8 to 26%. The fourth question, how can I improve, is not a demand for perfection. It is an invitation for a 1% better decision each month. The fourth thing you need to understand is the reflection practice and why it is the mechanism that actually produces the long-term behavioral change that makes early retirement real. Every Sunday. That is the commitment. Every Sunday, you sit with your Kakeibo notebook for approximately 15 minutes. You review what you spent in the prior week. You compare it to what you intended to spend. You do not do this on a phone. You do not do this while the television is on. You sit, you open the notebook, and you write. The Japanese concept at work here is called hansei. It translates as self-reflection or honest examination. It is a practice that appears across Japanese professional and personal culture as a structured method for identifying the gap between intention and outcome without judgment, and then closing that gap through specific adjustment rather than general guilt. Most American approaches to financial failure are shame-based. You overspent, you feel bad, you try harder next month. Trying harder without structural change produces the same result. The shame accumulates. Eventually, most people stop trying. Hansei-based reflection is diagnostic, not punitive. You overspent in the optional category by $240 this week. What specifically caused that? You identify 3 meals out that were driven by being too tired to cook on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The solution is not to feel worse about yourself. The solution is specific. You batch cook on Sunday afternoon. You reduce the friction that produced the optional spending. The behavior changes because the system changed, not because your willpower improved. This distinction is worth sitting with because it explains why Kakeibo works for people who have failed with every other system. Willpower is a depletable resource. Systems are not. Kakeibo is a system designed to convert financial intention into financial behavior through structure rather than through self-discipline. If this is helping you understand what you need to set up correctly before your first serious run at an early retirement strategy, hit the like button right now and share this with any retiree or pre-retiree you know who is doing everything right and still not getting where they want to be fast enough. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a video like this one. The 5th thing you need to understand is how to integrate Kakeibo with your existing retirement accounts and investment strategy, because the method alone is not a retirement plan. It is the behavior engine that makes a retirement plan work. The money that Kakeibo frees up through awareness needs to go somewhere specific and immediately. Leaving it in a checking account is not a strategy. Within the first 30 days of implementing Kakeibo, you need to have a destination for every dollar of newly redirected savings before the month starts. The order of priority for that redirection in 2026 is as follows. First, maximize your employer 401k match if one exists. This is a guaranteed 100% return on every dollar. No investment in any market produces that. If you are not capturing the full employer match, every dollar of Kakeibo savings goes here first. Second, fund a health savings account if you are enrolled in a high deductible health plan. In 2026, the HSA contribution limit is $4,300 for self-only coverage and $8,550 for family coverage. HSA contributions reduce your taxable income dollar for dollar. The account grows tax-free. Qualified withdrawals are tax-free. It is the only triple tax-advantaged account in the American tax code, and most people treat it as a medical checking account instead of a retirement investment vehicle. Third, fund a Roth IRA up to the 2026 contribution limit of $7,000 if you are under 50, or $8,000 if you are 50 or older. If your income exceeds the Roth IRA phase-out thresholds, which begin at $150,000 for single filers and $236,000 for married couples filing jointly in 2026, use the backdoor Roth contribution strategy. A qualified tax professional can walk you through the mechanics. Fourth, return to your 401k and maximize the annual contribution limit of $23,500 in 2026, or $31,000 if you are 50 or older under the catch-up contribution rules. Fifth, if you have redirected enough savings to exhaust all tax-advantaged space, open a taxable brokerage account and invest in low-cost index funds. The tax drag on a taxable account is manageable if you hold broadly diversified index funds for the long term, particularly if you are in a year when your income is lower and your long-term capital gains rate is 0. The Kakeibo method does not care which account receives the savings. Its job is to free the savings and make the act of saving feel intentional rather than residual. Your investment strategy determines where the savings grow. Kakeibo determines how much savings you have to invest. Here's your implementation checklist for the week you decide to start. Buy a dedicated paper notebook, not a digital document, not a phone note. A physical notebook you will use only for Kakeibo. The physicality matters. On the first page, write your monthly net income and your fixed expenses. Subtract. Write the remaining discretionary number clearly at the top. Decide your savings target for the month before you write any optional or extra expenses. Write it, circle it. It is not available to spend. Divide the remaining discretionary income across the 4 categories: survival, optional, culture, extra. Write a specific number for each. Every Sunday for the rest of the month, spend 15 minutes recording the week. Write actual spending against the category allocations. Write one sentence answering the question, how can I improve next week? At the end of the month, answer all 4 Kakeibo questions in writing. How much did I have? How much did I save? How much did I spend? How did I improve? Start the next month's page before the month begins. Identify the single largest optional or extra category leak from your first month. Redirect half of that amount to retirement savings beginning month 2. Do not try to eliminate all leaks at once. Close one, then another. The compounding of small behavioral improvements is as powerful as the compounding of small investment returns. There is one more dimension to this that connects Kakeibo to the broader financial picture most people miss entirely. The Kakeibo method is not just a savings accelerator, it is a tax planning tool when used correctly. Every dollar redirected to a traditional 401k or a deductible IRA reduces your adjusted gross income in the year of the contribution. For someone in the 22% federal tax bracket, an additional $6,000 per year in pre-tax retirement contributions produces an immediate $1,320 tax reduction. That reduction can itself be redirected to a Roth IRA, compounding the benefit. For higher income earners, the tax reduction from maximizing pre-tax retirement contributions can reduce modified adjusted gross income below the thresholds that determine Medicare IRMA surcharges 2 years later. In 2026, the first IRMA tier begins at $106,000 for single filers and $212,000 for married couples. A retiree or pre-retiree above that threshold pays meaningfully more for Medicare Part B and Part D. The behavioral savings unlocked by Kakeibo, when directed to pre-tax accounts, can move you below that threshold. The monthly Medicare savings alone can be several $100s. This is not an accident. It is a system working as designed. Better spending behavior produces better savings behavior. Better savings behavior produces better tax outcomes. Better tax outcomes reduce retirement costs. Lower retirement costs reduce the amount you need to accumulate before you stop working. Every lever moves in the same direction when the underlying behavior is aligned. The Kakeibo practitioners who retire earliest are not the ones who earn the most. They are the ones who achieved clarity between intention and behavior earliest. The notebook is the instrument of that clarity. Let me tell you about Raymond. He is 51 years old. He has a good income, $108,000 a year. He has been saving for retirement since he was 29. He contributes 15% to his 401k and has done so consistently. By any measure, Raymond is doing well. He planned to retire at 62. He thought that was the best he could do. Raymond heard about Kakeibo from a colleague. He was skeptical. He already tracked everything in a spreadsheet. He knew where his money went. He started the notebook anyway in March. By the end of the first week, he had identified $920 in monthly spending that did not appear anywhere in his spreadsheet, not because he was hiding it from himself, because it had never been forced into a category before the fact. The spreadsheet caught it after. The notebook stopped it before. By month 3, Raymond was redirecting $680 per month in redirected savings to a Roth IRA and a taxable brokerage account. By month 8, he had increased that to $910 per month. His lifestyle had not materially changed. His savings rate had moved from 15% to 28%. He was not suffering, he was paying attention for the first time. Raymond updated his retirement projection in October of that year. His new retirement date based on current savings trajectory was 57. 6 years earlier than he had believed was possible. 6 additional years of time, which is the only resource that no amount of money can buy back once it is spent. He spent 2 hours with a tax professional in November. The professional identified that redirecting Raymond's additional savings to pre-tax accounts would reduce his AGI below the first IRMA tier, saving him approximately $840 per year in future Medicare premiums. The same behavioral change that moved his retirement date also reduced his retirement costs. The notebook did not do that. Awareness did. The notebook produced the awareness.